Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Today we are continuing with ranking all the classes and subclasses in Baldur's Gate 3, and today we're covering the Monk. Here is our current tier list, and you'll notice that everything is a little top heavy, and that's because Baldur's Gate 3 is not an overly difficult game, and the classes and subclasses we're provided are all generally very strong. So that's it for the intro. Let's go ahead and get started. The first monk subclass that we're going to go over is Way of the Open Hand. Now every monk has access to Flurry of Blows at level 1, and you have to use your bonus action and your key points. Key points, this is your class resource that every monk is going to use. How they use them depends on the subclass. Now, with the Flurry of Blows here, I just want to point this out because every subclass also gets extra attack. So if you know anything about martial characters, you know that having an attack, extra attack, and a way to weaponize your bonus action, that's very powerful. Now at level 3, this is when you're going to pick up your open hand subclass here, and essentially what they get right off the bat is a way to alter those Flurry of Blows. So you get Topple here where you can knock an enemy prone, which is going to give you advantage on your follow-up attack, so that's really good. And then you also get Stagger and then your own push ability. So a little bit of variety with how you're going to be using your bonus action, and these are all good options. Our next subclass feature comes at level 6, and we get these Manifestations of Body. And this is a passive feature where you can choose one of these 3 damage types to add to your unarmed attacks. And in Baldur's Gate 3, there's already a bunch of items, especially for monks here, where it's just going to give you, a 1d6 here, 1d4 there. And this is a passive way to do it that's intrinsic to the monk here, making them one of the best martial damage dealers in the game. And then at level 9 we get our next subclass feature, which are these resonating punches or resonation punches, where essentially this is like putting a sticky bomb, or I guess like a C4, on an enemy with either your action or your bonus action, and then you can use your key point to detonate it for AoE damage. So a AoE option for a martial character, this is just great all around. At level 11, we get our last subclass feature, which is Tranquility. So after every long rest, our monks here just get Sanctuary. Sanctuary is fantastic because no enemy is going to be able to target us until we do an action. They can hit us actually with AoE damage, but this is going to give us time to get in position because we are a martial character. We like to get into, the front line. So we have that time and that benefit of Sanctuary to get wherever we need to go and just start punching. Now when ranking the Open Hand Monk, I think this is a subclass that is firing on all cylinders, and every subclass feature is synergizing with one another. This martial character subclass, this is an S tier subclass, no question about it, one of the best in the game. And the next subclass is Way of Shadow. This is like the rogue, sneaky variant of the monk. And so we get Shadow Art's Hide, which is just using our bonus action to go into stealth, which is handy. Also, we get Pass Without Trace, which this is an excellent spell that we're getting at level 3 that only is going to cost us our key points. Pair this with like greater invisibility, and you're going to be very hard to see in combat where you can just stay invisible and keep hitting targets. Really good combination there. We also get Darkness and then Dark Vision, so we can put up this dark bubble. But keep in mind that dark bubble is magical darkness, and Dark Vision is not going to help you see through that. And then we get Silence. This is a good spell. Mostly just use it in Act 1. Not as many, I would say, punchy fist attacks that the Open Hand has, but still, this is decent. At level 5, we get our next subclass feature, which is Cloak of Shadows. This will just make us invisible, but it doesn't cost anything except for just our action, which is a really handy way just to go invisible. And at level 6, I think this is when Way of Shadow starts getting a little bit better, and that's because they get Shadow Step here. So we're able to teleport from shadow to shadow, but once we do that teleport, our next attack roll is going to have advantage, which is great for a martial character. Now at level 11, we get our last subclass feature here, which is Shadow Strike. So we have a weapon version, and then we have an unarmed version as well. And so what this will allow us to do is teleport to a target and then add a 3d8 psychic damage to our attacks. It's going to cost us some key points, but this is a pretty cool assassination almost like ability. Really cool. Unfortunately, it does come at level 11. So Way the Shadow here is kind of like Hunter from Ranger in my opinion, where most of the game they're kind of, I would say, middle of the road, but then at level 11 here they get a huge spike in power. It just happens to be in like Act 3, so that's sort of unfortunate. Alright, so when ranking Way of Shadow, a lot of it has to do with being invisible or sneaking, being in shadow, lightly or heavily obscured spots. So if you like that stealth and that sneaking gameplay, this probably sits in like, I don't know, A minus, A tier, somewhere around there. Unfortunately for me, it's not really my play style. I think I'm gonna stick it in B tier because I already compared it to Hunter, where I think all the really good stuff comes, or it all comes together at level 11. Again, that's Act 3. Most of the game is already done by then, and I just think all the other subclasses, at least for me, they fare a little bit better. So I'm gonna stick it in B tier, and I'm sorry. And next monk subclass is the Way of the Four Elements, and if I ever make a Richter Belmont build, I would definitely use this subclass because it's kind of like the mage version of the monk, where they get something like Water Whip, Unbroken Air, this Fire Snake, which is just like their own elemental abilities, which are going to use their key points, where these are going to come back on short rest, but then four elements here, we get Harmony of Fire and Water. And this is at level 3, so a really cool spellcaster very early in the game. And as we're leveling up, level 6 here, we'll get access to more spells. I want to call them just regular spells, but they are the same thing. So we got Clinch of the North Wind here. This is the same thing as Hold Person, but it's just like the monk variant. We also have something like Scorching Rays, Burning Hands, but they have like their own monk twist on them. And also when you use these spells here, these monk spells, it's also going to trigger Unarmed Strike, so we can still use our bonus action just due to like a punch to the face. So we still have that going for us as far as having our regular action to do damage, and then our bonus action being weaponized. And at level 9 we get improved elemental casting. So all of our elemental monk spells here, they're going to get an extra dice roll. So for example here, Water Whip, this was doing a 3d10 earlier, but now with improved elemental casting, it's doing a 4d10. So just more damage across the board. And lastly, at level 11, we get like our last tier of spells. In the case of what I chose, well, it's just Flame of the Phoenix, which this is Fireball. And we like Fireball around here because, you know, Fireball. Now when it comes to ranking Way of the Four Elements, a little bit of a tricky one because they have a limited like spell list, but those spells that they have, they can use really often because of key points and how easily those refresh. So you can almost like spam those low level spells, and then those will activate your bonus action to punch if you want to. But the spells you're getting as far as the list, you don't get access to some of the best spells, so a little limited there. We're kind of a hybrid class here where we have that melee side as well. Lot to consider, and this is one I'm thinking about still. I like this subclass a lot. I think I'm gonna stick it in A minus, although I could be swayed to put it in A tier, but I'm just gonna keep it in A minus. I like this one a lot. It's just I'm looking at everything that's in A tier. I'm like, is it as good as that? And right now I'm saying, not really. And last up, we have the monk subclass for all the party people. Everybody who likes to have a good time and maybe a little bit of an alcoholic like myself. Anywho, subclass features we get is Drunken Performance. Not really big deal there, but we also get Cheeky Tipple, which is basically we get our key points whenever we drink and become drunk with alcohol. So all those alcoholic drinks in Baldur's Gate 3 that you pick up, you're going to want to stash them up or have a nice stockpile of them. We also get Drunken Technique. This essentially is just going to let us disengage and get a little bit of extra movement after we do our bonus attack. This is okay. Now at level 4, we kind of get the big subclass feature of Drunken Master here. We get Intoxicating Strike. So this will make a target drunk or has a chance to, and then that's going to synergize with Life of the Party because every time Intoxicating Strike hits, we get Life of the Party. It's a buff. It's going to increase our armor class and our attack rolls against drunk targets. So for this playstyle, you really want to be spreading that drunk effect. So a lot of legwork, and how much benefits you get off of basically spreading that drunk effect, kind of up to you. This is very much a, I would say like an RP subclass where it's a lot of legwork, it's a really fun theme, but the payoff, it's just decent so far. Now our next subclass feature comes at level 6, and we get Leap to your feet. So it costs a certain amount of movement speed to get back up if you're knocked prone. For Drunken Master, that cost on your movement speed is going to be less. We also get redirect attack. So this is a reaction ability where the enemy who's attacking you in melee will miss, and then we can punch back at them with an unarmed strike. And I think this changed from the test server because test server used to be enemy attacks you, you can then use your reaction to redirect their attack to somebody who's close by to you, which that situation really didn't come up all that often. A little more niche, I would say, where this version of it, a little more consistent, easier to proc, and it's going to be, I guess, more useful overall. In our next subclass feature we unlock at level 9, we get Sobering Realization. This is sort of like a finisher because you have to hit a drunk target and it's going to do an extra bit of psychic damage to him, but it's also going to make us lose life of the party. So again, that's why I would think this as a finisher. Now I didn't point out, but the drunk effect, it's really not that good for combat situations because it just gives them disadvantage on their dexterity and charisma checks. So this is almost like a nothing burger when it comes to a debuff on a target. It really just activates most of the features for the Drunken Master specifically. In our last subclass feature we pick up at level 11, we get Drunkard's Luck. So when we have an ability, an attack roll, or a saving throw, then we have disadvantage on that check or saving throw, we can spend our 2 key points and take that advantage off. It's not going to automatically succeed the check. Again, it just takes away disadvantage. And for an level 11 feature here, hi baby, hi, come say hi. Oh, can we see you? Hi, you haven't made an appearance in a while. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. Goodbye. She usually isn't jumping in my lap when I'm making videos lately, but there you go. Yeah, we got Lady here, our dog. Anyways, this subclass feature so late in the game, level 11, really not that great. Now in ranking Drunken Master here, again, I think it has a very strong RP theme, but the whole spreading the drunk effect and then life of the party, I don't think is that great of a class benefit. And I struggle with this one because again, I really like the theme. I think it's a lot of fun, but the applications of it in Baldur's Gate 3, I don't think they're very good. Essentially, I think the other monks are way better, and there's a lot of other subclasses that are also just way better. I think I'm gonna stick it into C tier. That surprises me. I thought I was gonna sit in B tier, but I don't think it belongs in the same category of Way of the Shadow, if that makes any sense. So C tier it is. Alright y'all, that is our rankings of the monk subclass. You let me know where you think the monks belong. I think we did a pretty decent job. Now we only have 2 more subclasses left. We have Druid and we have Bard. I think we're just gonna knock them out back to back. Here is the updated tier list. You can see where monk is sitting. And yeah guys, that is the video. I will see you next time. Peace and take care.